Santona and I am your host for today's episode. And you are watching Straight to the Top. So this morning's episode is very much exciting as we're having our guests from their different fields of specialty. But anyway, we have seen a lot of circulations on social media about anxiety, depression, or even untimely deaths for both young ones and old ones. So basically, this morning we're gonna talk about mental health issues. So just a disclaimer, this issue is somehow triggering, so I am discouraging all the viewers to please watch at your own risk. So I will not prolong the agony of waiting, I will now call on our first guest. She is a master teacher 3 of the Polog National High School. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss April Maya Villar. Our second guest, she is the CEO of the most famous hotel in the Philippines, which is Okada Manila in Pasay. She is Miss Devon Alexa Pui. And our third guest, she is the manager of the most famous international modeling, which is the RP International Modeling. Ladies and gentlemen, Rual Ban. And to complete this set of guests, we have our psychiatrist for about 9 years of service. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Precious Humarangan. So how are you, my dear excellences? Miss Abiliar?
It is an honor to be one of your guests today. And I'm so happy to say that I am currently a teacher and I'm happy in my chosen profession of being a bridge and guide to every student in order to provide them with knowledge, particularly in science.
Wow, what an inspiration. How about you, Miss Devon?
Thank you for asking, Ms. Jalessa. Well, I'm really doing great since I am the new CEO for the past 12 years in Okada Hotel, and I was so shocked of myself that I handled well my responsibilities and duties as a CEO in Okada Hotel.
Wow, that's nice to hear. How about you, Miss Ruel?
I'm doing great despite the hectic schedule. Yeah, recently I just had my photo shoot for a famous cosmetic brand. I'm grateful with all the happenings in my life. I was able to model different brands and cosmetics, so I'm more than happy.
Well, just a follow-up question. Are you single? Oh, I think that's too personal, but we'll love to hear that you are married.
No, I'm seeing someone right now.
Okay, since you are the manager of the most famous international modeling, so I bet you're really good at it. So can you show us your sample ramp walk? So ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Ruel Ban Jr.
I got my peaches out in
Well, thank you for that. That's true. So, yes, Miss Precious, how's your life with your profession?
Well, my life with my profession is really doing great. And then as a psychiatrist, it is really my honor to help with those people who have mental illness. And I can say that it's really a satisfying work, especially when you deal with different patients. No, then yes, yeah, it's really a good profession.
Wow, you're amazing. Well, all of you are really amazing. So I believe that all of you have given an idea of what we're going to talk about this morning, right?
Yes.
So I prepared a lot of questions, no, just 4 I think. So with the recent news in the social media, there's a lot of circulations about anxiety, depression. So have you yourself experienced this firsthand? We'd love to hear first from Miss Abiliar.
As a teacher or anyone else, you also experience mental health issues.
Yes.
It is important that we have enough knowledge about this matter so that we can understand it better.
Yeah.
Personally, I have experienced this because being a teacher is not an easy profession. And every day, I meet different people.
Yes, I totally agree that educators are the most stressed professionals given that you're interacting with different kind of people as you have said and it is very difficult to like interact with people coming from different walks of life. Now, we'd like to hear from you, Miss Devon.
Well, I think every one of us experience anxiety and depression when we are very stressed in our
Yes,
different
yes.
works, and especially when dealing and facing in our personal problems or not even personal problems, because having anxiety that leads into depression is not easy. We can deny the fact that we feel anxious when we have it. And it attacks anytime and anywhere we are. That's
Yes,
it.
absolutely. I agree with you that anxiety or depression don't exclude certain place to attack. They really torture your mental health in every corner so that you are in. So, Mr. Well, we'd love to hear from you.
Growing up, I used to hate my appearance. And yeah, maybe because I have a dark skin color. But I realized that my uniqueness brought me to my success, so which I'm thankful for.
Wow, just WOW, just wow. It cannot be doubted why you achieved such profession because you have undeniably beautiful perspective, authentic about thoughts about yourself. Now, and I think that made you powerful among others. So how about you, Miss Morang and Miss Precious?
Of
Dr.
course,
Precious?
me myself, I experienced depression. So when I was a teenager, I was diagnosed with body dysmorphic.
So what was the
disorder.
illness?
It was a mental condition in which, when you see yourself in the mirror, you would see one or two flaws in yourself, even though others don't see it. But then you always point it out with yourself. Oh, I'm so ugly. This like that, like that. And I can diagnose it with her when she was young. When you thought that.
So what a
you're ugly.
coincidence.
Yes, that is a body dysmorphic disorder. And then you feel anxious about it. Then when you can't socialize with others because you feel ashamed.
Yes, yes. Yes, it's really traumatizing. But we already heard your different experiences outside your comfort zones, and I believe all of you have your different kind of coping mechanisms. So how did you able to get through it, or how do you handle that certain situation? So we'd love to hear from you, Miss Abiliar.
Mental health issues are formidable fools.
Yes.
For me, being productive every day is the simplest way to overcome mental health issues. I avoid things that may arouse me anxiety and so on. Reading books about science-related topics adds to my coping strategy.
Yes, I totally agree with you that being productive every day is the simplest way to overcome depression or anxiety because there is no room for them to arouse or to arise because of course you're letting yourself consume with those sweats on fire. So how about you, Miss Devon? Can you share to us your coping mechanisms?
Well, to handle that certain situation is that you need to have more courage enough to fight with your anxiety and depression. And be brave enough to handle it because having anxiety and depression is not easy. And the only person, it has no antidote, and the only person that can treat yourself is only you. And that's why, because at the end of the day, we only have ourselves, and you need to be courageous enough to fight with that kind of battle.
Yes, I agree with you that you can treat yourself to yourself, right? But then I can say that if you're not strong enough to face your struggles in life, you can always ask someone to talk to
Yes,
or
for
whom
help.
you can trust, right? But then if you don't have anyone whom you trust, then you can always talk to God.
Yes.
You can always mend all the
The painful.
Yes, absolutely true. So it is really important to take care of ourselves and not lose ourselves in the process because in order for us to survive, we only actually need ourselves, just nothing more, nothing less, only ourselves. So how about you, Mr. Well? How did you able to wake up in your worst nightmares?
When dealing with anxiety issues, I used to cry a lot.
Okay, just go. It's okay.
I'll listen to negative thoughts sometimes, which is not helpful. It's a torture for me. So, but every time anxiety attacks, I always remind myself that I'm pretty, worthy, and matter. So I'll learn to set goals and never doubt myself. I use my strength as my weakness. to keep going. So, and one thing that I learned from a psychiatrist, it is important to seek help. People should be reminded that seeking help is brave. And so far, I'm enjoying my life.
Wow, what a jaw-dropping mechanism. God really allows you to be a model because you are such a role model. Now, the confident, the spirit, and the vibe, the design is very model. Now, to Precious, how did you able to cope up with your mental health issues?
Well, I was able to cope up with my mental health illness. This is the reason why I take up this profession. I take up psychiatrist so that I can understand what I'm feeling because I thought that I'm just being overreacting, but then it's
Yes.
not. I don't want to invalidate my feelings about that. And then as I go on with my profession, I learned that okay, so this is what happens, so this is that, like that.
Yes, absolutely. So, I believe that all of us have our own choices and have our own voices. So let your voice be heard. Speak up and learn to ask or seek help if you need one. Because again, the only person that can help us is only ourselves. Now, listening to your sentiments and and seeing what you're now, I can clearly see that how brave you are as a person to manage to wake up on such a nightmare. But I'd love to hear more from Isabel Yar. So you being a teacher, you're always interacting with students, mostly students, right? Now, have you ever observed a student bringing stress or anxiety in the school?
Yes, that's not new to me. In fact, there was this one time that I was able to witness a student shouting in the rooftop and crying because of the heaviness pain he felt in his chest. And it is, as a teacher, it is our duty to look for the welfare of the child.
So, what did you do?
I talked to him and I said positive statements because that time I have discovered that was the day he planned to get suicide. And I cried also knowing his struggles. I know he has so much rock to carry on his shoulder. And I know he almost lost his energy to carry that big rock.
As a teacher, that is really the least that you can do. So what steps did you do next?
And after that, I talked to him privately even if they have problems so that I can know what have been they're doing everyday life.
That is really relieving to hear that educators are not only after for body of knowledge, but they're also concerns with our mental health issues. All right, Miss Devon, do you also get to witness this kind of thing inside your working environment?
As a CEO for the past 12 years, yes, I also witnessed that kind of problems in the working environment because it is also my duty as a CEO to check the health of
Yes,
my
right.
employees every now and then. That's why I decided that every once a week, I'll visit their assigned areas just to check them one by one.
Now I know why you're blessed because you have a pure heart and intentions. Now, Ms. Ravel, this kind of matter also relatable to you?
Yes. We know that the modeling industry get toxic sometimes, and
Yes.
it's stressing me out at
Very
some
true.
point. So as a manager, I have to remind my models to never deal with bashing and toxic people inside or outside of the industry. So I always remind them that they have nothing to worry about with how they look, but they're all amazing and gorgeous. So I was once in their shoes, so I know how it feels.
Just wow again. You really radiated your vibes, your models, and it's very helpful for them because of course all of us need that kind of people who has a positive mindset, and in your industry they got the right person. Now, dear Precious, you as a psychiatrist by profession, now that you're able to treat patients, how do you deal with your own depression?
I deal with my own depression. Of course, I always seek assistance too. Even though I'm a
That's
psychiatrist,
good.
yeah, I always seek assistance with others. I always tell them what I really feel about
Mhm.
it. And then if no one is going to listen to me or invalidate my feelings, then I will talk to God, I will talk to what I
Wow.
really feel. And then that's when I feel good and then I am loved by God.
Yes, I extremely agree with you. I really like your coping mechanisms though. So, I extremely agree with that. So just an additional point, we are the own navigator of our own boat. We are the author of our own life, so we should always choose the right choices, the positive choices. So we may feel anxious today, or we may feel stressed tomorrow, or depressed the other day, but always remember that too shall pass. God gave us these trials in order for us to be strong. He allows us to dance in the rain so that we'll be prepared for the bigger storms that are coming in our way. So thank you everyone for coming and for watching, and to all the guests for not declining my invitation. Thank you. Anything you want to say?
Thank you so much, everyone, and to all students out there, laban lang.
Yes, Laban. Ms. Devon, anything you want to say? Go.
Thank you so much for watching to us and listening to us. And please visit Okada Hotel in this January 25 to 26 because we will giving you 10% off
Yes,
because
so
we were
guys.
having our 30th anniversary.
Yes, Ms. Ruel.
Okay, so to our viewers, I hope you focus on your potential and not in your limitation. So, water your thoughts with hope and fill every chapter of a life with endless possibilities. Your life is what you make it. The choose to let yourself grow in beauty, pain, and joy.
Wow. Precious, Doctor. Precious.
So you can visit my clinic at Alabang Street.
Yeah, so if you need help, just say Dr. Precious Assistance. So thank you for watching, and to all the guys, thank you for not declining my invitation. This has been Judasa Lutana, your host for today's episode, and this is Straight to the Top. God bless us all.